Hello and welcome to Building the Premier Accounting Firm. I'm your host, Roger Connect, President of Universal Accounting Center. This is a podcast dedicated to helping owners of bookkeeping, accounting, and tax businesses focus on their business, hearing from the experts things that they and we all need to be working on to help build our businesses, focusing on things that range from our mental health to training our staff to onboarding clients, our tech stacks, focusing on things that we can do to retain clients and get paid what we're worth. And this is going to be a wonderful example of that type of discussion, as I've got a wonderful guest, someone I've been looking forward to having on the show. This is Timothy Wingate. He is the founder and president of G+F Business and Financial Consulting. He is a licensed enrolled agent and construction accountant. In May of 2016, he founded G+F, recognizing the need for specialized accounting and tax services for construction companies. Many construction businesses struggle to bridge the communication gap between their work in the field and their back office. With firsthand knowledge of the construction industry and a deep understanding of taxes and finances, Timothy was able to provide tools, advice, and financial guidance to his clients so that they better understand their finances and improve their cash flow. Timothy is a QuickBooks Online Certified Pro Advisor and was a member of the Intuit Tax Council from 2019 to 2022. He earned his bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in finance from the University of South Florida, and then also is a member of the Construction Financial Management Association. Timothy worked for many years with his father, a licensed general contractor since 1984, giving him a plethora of firsthand knowledge of construction industry-related matters. And now Timothy lives in West Palm Beach with his wife, his 3 sons, and there he has served as the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer for a longstanding nonprofit company. So first of all, Timothy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Roger. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Now, this is going to be a great conversation because I believe a lot of the listeners have a great deal of interest in what it is you're doing. You've clearly chosen to niche your services and get into the construction industry. So I want to back up a little bit, though, and kind of talk about what led you to starting your company. I'm always fascinated with what got you to go into accounting, and then we'll ask what got you to think about starting your business. So you were obviously in the construction world because of your father and being raised with him. So what drove you to want to do accounting?
Yeah, so I hated the sun.
Amen. There you go. Done.
Yeah. Working in the sun every summer was just not the way to go for me. And I wanted to find a way to use my brain to get things done. And so I decided to seek, the field of finance, which was not accounting concentrated in the beginning. I thought I was going to be this international banker. When I got into the field of finance, I actually worked for Bank of America for a year at the corporate office in Tampa. And then I got a call from my grandmother who owned a longstanding nonprofit organization where she wanted me to come in and help, get the nonprofit back to where it needed to be, which was, solid footing with where it was going financially and all those type of things. So got home, man, didn't know what I was walking into.
Oh, grandma.
Yeah, working for family, one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. And there I walked into 9 lawsuits. I walked into no accounting records. I walked into everyone there old enough to be either my mom or uncle.
You're scaring me right now.
Yeah. And here you have this, young 24-year-old guy who's been put in charge to run this, this multi, I wouldn't say, I'll say just $1 million organization, 3 locations, 37 employees. So there you go.
Pretty decent.
Pretty decent size.
Yeah.
And didn't know what I was doing, had to just read. And very quickly, after working there for 6 years, I realized I never want to run another nonprofit.
Oh, grandma. So we're going to dive into that in a little bit. So here you are, 24, you're in that nonprofit, you're taking care of the accounting, you're helping them navigate some of these legal issues and so forth. So I'm curious, why start your own business?
Well, going through what I've been through with the nonprofit, I realized that just within our society, our culture, we don't have a lot of financial guidance. And because we don't have this guidance, we walk into situations like 9 lawsuits, and not having the structure that it needs to, you know, build a thriving company and thriving business that people want to work for. And that just touched my heart, because I came from a very organized organization like Bank of America, highly
Yeah.
regulated organization, and just knew the other side of the coin. And so I said, I want to bring this to all small businesses, in my area. Who knows, nationally, internationally, I don't know. But I just know I wanted to touch the hearts and minds of those individuals because I know that they felt alone and they just didn't have anyone to help guide them to success. So,
So I don't know if you would agree with me on this, but I'm definitely not someone that's really an advocate for a lot of regulations, government interventions, and so forth. That's not where I'm going with this. But I
mhm,
will say that there's a good deal of peace of mind when you have organization and structure that you're able to follow, and that peace of mind allows you to focus on the things that matter most. Which, when you're running a small business, would be the marketing and the growing of the business and the taking care of the clients, providing that product or service. And so, as accounting professionals, when we come into the client, we're able to deliver to them, hopefully, some structure and process that enables them to go work on what they know, like, and love. And that peace of mind comes from what you're describing here. You felt that you could go and bring to the small business world some of that organization and structure that you experience in the big banking world, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. It's nothing like working inside of a oiled system,
Yeah,
and that's something that's like, what to do, the result that you're looking for.
yeah.
When things go wrong, you can just make a tweak here, and start to do something different. So all those things were exciting things to bring to an organization that didn't have any of that. And I knew that I could deliver and I can provide value. So that's what I sought out to do.
Now, being that you're an enrolled agent, were you an enrolled agent at the time that you started your business?
I was not.
Okay,
I was
so
just
I love this. So you start your business, you're offering accounting and tax services. Why did you see value in becoming an enrolled agent?
I seen value there because I had people coming to me with tax problems.
Gotcha.
And so they need to say, "Hey Tim, can you represent me on this
Yeah.
tax matter, that tax matter?" And I didn't see any value in going back to school to get my CPA license because CPA license was state bound. You know what I mean? It was I would be bound to that state unless I get a license in every other state.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
then, enrolled agent, it was like it only focuses on tax. And to me, everybody wants a good tax guy, you know, and they don't really care about, audits and doing these, all these different compilations and those type of things for me. They want people to provide great tax strategy for them. And that's why I chose get the enrolled agent license.
Well, I can definitely see value of that, especially where you're offering tax resolution services. These people are
Yeah.
coming to you saying, "Will you represent me?" Tax resolution can be a very lucrative business and a great complement to the tax preparation services you might be offering. So that makes perfect sense to me. So now the other question I have is, when you left, or not left, but when you started your business, what were the services you were offering then? Do you recall what it was that you were starting your business as?
Yeah, it was strictly tax prep.
Strictly
Just
tax. Okay. So now you start the business. Was it with the intent of actually offering tax to any particular industry? Were you trying to niche your way in that process at all?
no, no, man. I was trying to get money wherever I can get it from. It was no lines. You crossed every last one of them, and I was just trying to bring in clients any way that I could, and that's what I
That,
did.
that, that makes sense because when you
Yeah,
start the business, there's a hustle about it, right? It's
it's a
anything and
hustle.
everything. There is a
Yeah.
hustle. So with that hustle, you were just willing to take it all. Okay. So how long after starting your business did you see the value in becoming an EA and did that? I mean, you clearly were doing the resolution stuff quite quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
what was that timeline?
I thought about becoming an EA after my first year in business.
Okay.
So yeah, the first year in business, I said, yeah, this would be valuable for me. The test doesn't seem hard. Let's go out and get it. It won't take long to get it, that type of thing. So that's what I went out and did, and I got it. Soon after that, during my first year of business, I remember I always want to tell people this. When I first started my business, I was only able to pay myself $600 a month. You
Wow.
know, people don't realize the struggle, and that was W-2. So that was $600 gross, not net. So I was only able to pay myself, but that's what kept me motivated, because I wanted to build my business debt free, and I wanted to feel the grind. I had some money saved up, of course, from my previous work experience, but
Hmm.
I wanted to build something that stood by itself. And that's what I did. And I just fought my way through it. And I quickly learned to pivot when things didn't go well, because if I didn't pivot, I would still be struggling. I remember I was $600 a month, charging $50 an hour, and I was traveling to the client's location to serve them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like concierge service right there.
Yes. Yes. So it was very challenging, very difficult. Quickly found out, because I had some people who was on QuickBooks Desktop. I had some people who was on QuickBooks Online, and QuickBooks Online wasn't great at that time.
No.
They didn't even have a tax software that was great. I think my first tax software was TaxWise,
Okay. Yeah.
and and then I switched from TaxWise, and I went straight to Intuit Pro Connect Tax Online,
Yeah.
because I think after my second year in business, I knew that I wanted to go all virtual. I wanted to just do 100% virtual firm. And so I made this decision. I said, everybody who's on QuickBooks Desktop, I need you online. And I started to move my tax practice over onto Pro Connect Tax Online.
So were you offering also bookkeeping services eventually?
Yes, my second year. My
Yep.
second year in business, I realized that, because I needed that. You remember, tax season is only a season. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, hold up. When I get to tax seasons, these people, some of these people, their books are out of order. And I was offering a service at that time to actually do their books. So I was actually I bought QuickBooks Desktop, because you can, put several firms,
Yep.
several businesses on that one subscription.
That's right.
And I just thought, hey, give me all your bank statements. I'm going to upload all the stuff in, get your clean books, and then file your taxes. Because my whole thing was, I didn't feel comfortable filing your taxes without having solid, financial records.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I made the conversion.
I'm loving this, because the evolution of you going from tax into bookkeeping and tax is great, because
Yeah.
it's going to lead us to the next thing, which is, you and I'm sure you've heard this. You go to a conference, you go to QuickBooks Connect, and they're going to talk about the value offer that you need to be doing, the thing that you need to be doing for your clients. It's above and beyond the bookkeeping and tax services, something to add that added value and move into the advisory space. When you started to hear that message, did it make sense to you? And was that enough to get you to consider offering advisory services?
I realized that when I heard that message, I was already doing advisory services, because remember, I came from the nonprofit world, 9 lawsuits. So I seen things that most people don't see very early on in business. So when I saw little things happening inside of their business, I was just giving them that advice, and
For
say,
free.
hey, yeah, for free.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, just do this different, do that different. Let's meet, weekly for a time period to solve a certain matter. Like, I was doing all of that already in the beginning.
So now all of a sudden you see that it has value. The customer does see its worth. And now you're starting to realize, darn it, I should be charging for this. I need to
Mm-hmm.
create something that's a little bit more structured and organized that I can package. And now not just offer bookkeeping and accounting services, not just tax preparation services, but also CFO and advisory services. So as you package that, what was it about the CFO, the fractional part-time CFO advisory services, that you felt the customer valued or appreciated? What were they willing to pay for there?
They were willing to pay for an accountant who cared.
Yeah.
That's what it came across. I don't feel like a number. I can reach you when I need you. You respond to my emails within a week and not leave me hanging for 2 to 3 months. Just those simple things like that. They just want people who are not too busy and who care.
Yeah.
And that's what I offer.
I love it. I love this. Now, in this whole process, clearly you had your background in construction. You may have heard somewhere along the line, as you were first starting the business, you were hustling. At what point
hmm
did you choose to focus on niching the business and go towards the general contractors in the construction industry?
When I realized I couldn't care for every industry like I could for one.
Mm.
You know, I was so, you know, busy trying to deliver the best value to every single client, but all my clients were in different industries. So here I am researching, e-commerce businesses. I'm researching real estate. I'm researching attorneys. I'm researching doctors, so that I can give them the best advice, as it relates to their industry and their company. And I realized that was just stressing me out because and it wasn't sustainable. I said, so I'm just one person. So one person needs to focus on one thing and become the best at that one thing, build from there, and then one day I can hire someone else who may have a passion and advise in another industry, and maybe we now offer advisory services in two industries at that time. So it's like building a big law firm. A law firm doesn't start off, you know, serving all these different areas of law. They start off with one specialized area of law, and then they grow because they brought on other people who had different specialties. And that's kind of how I looked at it, growing my company.
Very good. Very good. So, what advice would you have for someone that is considering niching and they're wondering whether or not they should specialize in a particular industry?
I would say this: niching allows you a great amount of freedom. It's gonna sound a little crazy because once you start to systemize the way you advise for a particular industry, it's not hard anymore. It becomes easy, and now you actually have more time to do more things like research on different not tax software, technology that can help them in their industry. You can research all these other things, and that part is fun. Researching things that bring them value they never thought out because they don't have the time to research these type of things for their industry to help the companies run better. And we have so niching down gave me the freedom to search out other solutions to bring back to those meetings with that business owner. And man, I can't tell you how valuable it was for them to receive that information, to say, Tim, like, you care. you know that because you went out and did all that for me. That shows me that you care about my company and you want me to succeed.
Yep. You care and you know me. You
Yeah,
understand me. Yeah, because
yeah.
I understand your space. I know the vocabulary of your industry. I know the nuances of your industry, the cyclical nature of your industry. Those nuances help you understand their particular situations. And so, very, very true. So, I'm curious, as you specialize, as you're describing, you're clearly niching down and going deeper into that industry and learning some of the things that they can benefit from the accounting, the tax perspective, the CFO level. But did you end up getting rid of any of your other clients that may have been outside of the construction space? Did you keep those as well?
I still have clients from the other spaces.
Yeah.
Um, some of them have fallen off,
Yep.
not many, because some of them actually respect that, hey, you actually have a specialty. So it's kind of funny because I now have a specialty, they feel like they have a better accountant because now you're looked at like this accountant who specializes in this particular industry or this particular thing or niche, and you have done the work to acquire that knowledge. So I know that you're I guess it would be the same like if you were a doctor who was just a general practitioner,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden you went back to school and become a brain surgeon. Well, now you're just a more respected doctor. And that's kind of how it is for the accountant who specializes in some type of industry or some type of accounting area. And it's now you're looked at as the specialized accountant, and sometimes it comes with a little bit more respect. It's just the way it is.
I love it. Yeah. If there were an emergency, let's say a car crash, the brain surgeons can still get out of the car and do triage and help the person basically get ready to go to the ER, right? They're
Hmm.
able to still function as a doctor, even though they're a brain surgeon. They're able to deal with that traumatic situation as it may be. So that's just kind of, I think, a compliment to your example there, because here's where I wanted to go with it. And you said it very well. It's the fact that as people choose to niche into certain industries, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to forego or turn away the current client base that you already have. You still have those restaurants, the doctors, the chiropractors, whomever it might be, as those original clients that you were initially servicing, and you don't have to turn them away. Some may soon fall off, but as you're growing your business, you don't necessarily have to say that because you've chosen to niche down into a particular industry that you're having to neglect or turn away all the others. And I would also add that I've worked with many a firm that what they've done is they've chosen to niche, which is to say they've become very deliberate in targeting in their marketing and advertising to bring on certain clients simply because they want to specialize in that area. But at the same time, they'll go get a second niche, a third niche, because they're able to take what they've learned as to how to better market or target that client to now another industry and then another industry. And in-house, they're able to still service them and provide quality accounting, bookkeeping, and tax services. But it's now to two niches or three niches, and they have this general package of services that they're providing to clients as well. So I think this is just fascinating. I quite enjoyed this. So I'm going to go a little off to the personal side of things here, simply because of
Okay.
the fact that you were young, you were starting out, you have a family. How has
Yeah.
your wife been supportive of you in this process of starting and building your business? What's that been like with that support?
Well, I could tell you this, it was interesting because when I first started, I told her to clear out her 401k.
Okay.
And she built this thing up for a couple of years at the time. We were young. So that was a big deal. And without hesitation, she did that. And I told her I was starting this company that she had no idea what it was and what it was going to be until I explained it to her. And she was like, "You sure?" Because I had offers on the table for other nonprofits who wanted to bring me on to be CFO, CEO, all these different things. And I turned them down. I said that no, this is where God is leading me. I need to focus on this. And that's what I did because I wanted to go out and help people the way that, you know, um, it was given to me as a vision. And so she supported me 100%, took out that money. We took the penalty, and that's how I got the branding package, built up. And I just went on ahead. I think I only had two children at the time. And so she held down the house, allowed me to work at night, um, you know, during the day, just all really around the clock. And I took time and breaks and to fill in, but I was really focused on putting this thing together and really building this business. And I could tell you one thing: it would have been much harder if I didn't have the support of my wife.
Yeah.
Much harder. But I have a beautiful wife, very understanding woman, and she didn't give me any fuss at all, and just let me be me and go out here and get it.
That's powerful. Having those offers on the table and saying, "Honey, trust me, I'm going to make $600 a paycheck or a month or whatever." That's phenomenal, and that type of support I hear again and again and again. And how amazing is it that some people just say, "You know what? You clearly need to do this. I'm going to trust you," and you've made it happen. And congratulations on that. After all the many hard years, you've clearly put it together. So, what advice would you have for your younger self as it relates to if you had to say something to you when you were having this idea, this vision, and it was going to be just the $600 a month? What 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 would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self to document everything, niche down sooner, and charge where you want to be.
Very nice. We tend to undercharge, undervalue our services. We tend to not work quickly enough to really find our specialty. Yeah, very good advice. I like that. You've got the younger boys. They're all boys, right?
All boys.
All boys. Okay, so you've got these younger boys. What do you think they're learning from you as they watch you run your business and be an entrepreneur as you are? What do you hope that they're learning from this experience as they observe you?
Number one, I hope that they see the freedom that I have to be with them at all of their events. I'm not missing out on a lot of things because, I'm working. I'm usually the dad who can take them to the doctor's office, to go get their physicals and checkups and those type of things because I have my own schedule. Um, I hope that they see that because God has given me something great, I'm able to travel, you know, with other people paying for it, and allow to see me really make a difference in the clients that I have, um, in their lives, in their family lives, and the relationships that I'm able to build with those clients as well. Because my mom just recently passed, and I can't tell you the overwhelming support that my clients gave to me. Some came to visit my mom in the hospital. Some came and sent flowers to me. Some came to the funeral. Those type of things, and all those things mean so so much, to a business owner, and it just shows the relationship that we reciprocate to one another. You know, because I care about them, they care about me. And so I'm just hoping my boys see a future in this business, or maybe something else. But if they want to start something else, they want to start it kind of centered around this idea of family, and kind of just being a very authentic and genuine person to someone else. Hmm. Yeah. Oh man, they're proud. They've been unashamed to tell me that they're proud. They tell all their friends. Um, they say they wish I was like especially my dad. They wish I was at this point, 20 years ago, so that I could help him do a lot more with what he had, than just being by himself. So they're super proud, and I know it. And my number one goal when I got out of college was to never be in position where I have to ask my parents for anything because they did so much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do everything I could to give back to them. And so far, you know, that's the way it's been.
That is
And
beautiful.
I those are things that I prayed for, and I'm just so happy to be in position to be able to help so many people, not just my parents, but family, friends. And that's where I get most of my joy, just being in position. So having this accounting firm and having this business G plus F is just a tool
Yeah.
that allows me to do the things that I'm called to do as a human being, as a man of God, a man of faith, and those are things that I enjoy most. And that's leading my family and helping people who are near and close to me.
That is wonderful. And earlier I should have said this, but my condolences for your mother's passing. Obviously, that was recent and very dear to you. You just mentioned it, and I was going to bring it up, but you said it yourself. You're obviously a God-fearing man, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Having faith in your own life, how did faith play into starting and building your business?
faith was the way that's how it started. G plus F stands for God plus family. So that was given to me first, and everything that I do is as I'm doing unto the Lord, and I want to make sure that I'm continuing to push that out, because there's, with the world of technology and AI, which I appreciate, I know how to use it. I leverage those things, but we're sometimes missing the human connection. We're missing out on the opportunities to be authentic and creative, and to show that to people, because we're behind the screen, or we're behind a social media platform, those type of things. So I just try my best to leverage those things, but also really have people to experience the human side of me, and that's kind of where my faith has carried me. And I wanted to show them that this is a true man who's true to his word, and his company stands behind it. I don't hide my faith. It's all over my website. It's all over everything I do, and I have attracted the same type of clients. Um, some of them are not, God fearing in the sense, but they appreciate, a God fearing man being on the team, and they reciprocate those things. And some of them have, asked some interesting questions. Some of them have asked for prayer, those type of things. And I tell you, it's nothing greater than having a company that you're running and you enjoy every single client. I
I love
mean,
that.
every single client I enjoy.
Well, one of the things that I think you are doing, and these are my words, but
Hmm.
when I interact with individuals, I'd like them to feel after that interaction that they are better because of that time that we had spent together. And when you see other people as children of God, when you see them as brothers and sisters, you act differently, I feel. And so having that be at the forefront of that interaction is helpful, so that at the end they feel like they were listened to and heard, and hopefully they felt as if the Spirit could be there with each of us in any of those conversations. And so I agree with you. I really do feel that that's something we need more of. And too many people are lost and alone and afraid and scared, and they're anxious and depressed. And in reality, if we could just bolster one another up and kind of support each other in all the things that we're all trying to accomplish, life is hectic and busy and scary enough in so many ways. If we could just support one another and just have that brotherhood, and all of a sudden people just don't feel alone anymore, and they feel supported and sustained. And I really think that's a very important part of our human interaction. And so if we can bring that to business, I'm all for it, because there's a lack of it, and there's a need for more of it. And I appreciate our ability to discuss that today, so thank you.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up on one last thing here. If you had advice for other accounting professionals as to what's on the horizon, you were involved with Intuit, and clearly a lot of those things might even be confidential. But what's on the horizon? What do you see is next as we accounting professionals prepare for the future, as we hear about AI and so forth? What's exciting you about the future as it relates to accounting?
What's exciting me is just how much better the technology is getting to allow us to do more of what we're really truly called to do, and that is advise. We're not here to enter data, and so there are a lot of technology that's being created as we speak to help us get data and more entered into the software more quickly, more real time. And so that way we can actually spend our time analyzing the data and giving the business owner some feedback on what to do with this data and to make sense of it. And so I'm just excited about that, because I don't think if my job was just sitting here punching numbers into a computer all day and then sending people reports when I'm done, that would be, fulfilling for me. So I don't know if I could have been an accountant back in the 1600s, whatever, when it started, when they were working off of T charts and all those type of things. So, but just where we're going, embrace it. Don't be afraid of it. I know some people feel afraid, like if I'm not entering data, then what am I charging for? Like, how do I get paid? And you're getting paid for how you analyze and strategically think. You're getting paid for the way you think. Remember that. That's value in that. There's a lot of people who've been paid for how they think. You have the Albert Einsteins of the world. You have all these brilliant minds of the world who've just been paid to come in the room and have a think tank with me, so that way we can come up with something great. So please don't devalue your ability to think and to think strategically.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And I couldn't agree more. And I'm going to just speak for a few minutes about this. One of the things that I think is very valuable is understanding the distinction between bookkeeping and accounting. When you can get beyond the financial reports and actually analyze them and be for your clients that interpreter, very big difference. There's a much different relationship you have with your client when you're able to step into that role of accountant. The second is also regarding tax preparation and tax planning. Tax preparation, there's one thing to file the returns, do it timely and accurately, but there's another thing to be able to provide tax advisory services. It's much more valued and appreciated, especially when you can actually help your clients mitigate their tax liabilities and save money there. And then as it relates to CFO and advisory services, it's such a different client relationship interaction when you're actually at that CFO level, when you're integrating your expertise and familiarity of accounting into their business model to help them become more profitable, to improve cash flow, to improve the relationships that they have as it relates to capital, where they're getting their monies from to run the business. Those things really make a difference with our clients. And like you've been saying all along, they feel cared for when you're able to provide all of those. And clearly we can be paid fairly for those services as well. So a lot of great things there. So here's what I'm going to do. Timothy, first of all, I love this conversation. I'm going to go ahead and summarize what it is I've heard us discuss today and kind of pull out the highlights. And then I'm going to ask you for a closing thought. But before I move forward as to offers, I do want to mention to the listeners that we do have a few things that you want to take advantage of. First and foremost, go to the episode description and you'll find information as it relates to a book called Your Strategic Accountant. It's a book that was published this year. It's a book that's designed to actually help business owners understand and appreciate the accounting services that we're providing. And it really does address this topic of what we're talking about today, of how we can be more engaged with our clients and care for them. The second is a book called Your Profit and Growth Expert. It's really what Timothy and I have been discussing today, of how you can actually go to your clients and become for them this advisor, this profit and growth expert, helping them literally take and improve their business models with your insights so that they can be more profitable in what it is they're doing here. So it's Your Profit and Growth Expert, and it's meant to actually help us as accounting professionals engage better with our clients, especially in that CFO and advisory space. The other thing I'd want to talk about here is with Timothy's journey. He clearly talked about the evolution that took place in his business as he built his firm, starting first of all with tax preparation services, and eventually becoming an enrolled agent to provide tax resolution services, and then eventually bookkeeping services and so on. There is a turnkey process to building what I refer to as the premier accounting firm. If you'd like more information on that turnkey process and what a business should and could look like as you work to build your own companies, check out the Turnkey Business Model. It's a free course for individuals that want to actually build their premier accounting, bookkeeping, and tax business. And then lastly, if you're interested in finding out more what it is you can be doing to step into that advisory space and become for your clients that CFO and advisor, providing additional value to your clients, check out the Profit and Growth Expert program and see what you can do to apply the Universal Business Builder model with your clients and help them actually work towards building their companies so that they can actually have a great exit in their business and really get paid what they're worth with the help of you as you're working with them as their profit and growth expert. So clearly a lot of insights there that you want to check out the episode description for. Go there for all those details. As a summary of our conversation, I love this. Just to hear what it was that Timothy experienced as he stepped into the accounting community and started to work for the bank and then was asked by grandma to come back and help with the nonprofit. That's a story I hear all too often with family businesses. Come back, help us out. That's something that I think a lot of us in the accounting profession experience is friends and family asking for our expertise. But then from there to realize there's a potential here for me to serve the small business community and to take that vision, that inspiration, and create a business and literally sacrifice with the support of his wife the idea of what it was his company could become, and over time learning what it is he could be doing to build the business that he has. I really appreciated his advice that to go niche sooner, to charge more, to act sooner. Great advice as it related to starting and building the business. And then the other thing that I thought was also very helpful is bringing what he was referring to as his faith into his business, how it affects his interactions with his clients, what he's doing with his clients, that it's more than just a transactional relationship. It truly is a relationship that goes all the way to the point where with the passing of his mother, they were willing to come in and mourn with him and pay their condolences as such. And that was a beautiful story. So I appreciated it. So this is great. Love that you were able to show how this is relating to your sons as well, what they're pulling from all this. Wonderful insights. So Timothy, what's your final thought as it relates to our conversation today?
Man, it was a beautiful conversation, Roger. And I just hope that people take away that, you know, you're an accountant because you can think, number one. And then number two, don't be afraid to be your authentic self, for your firm. Whatever that is, be that for your firm. And remember, you're seeking freedom. You're not here to be tied down to a computer every day, all day during tax season. You have a family, you have people that care about you and want to spend time with you. So make sure you're building a firm that gets you there. So systemize, get people to help you work and do the work that you don't like doing, and all those things, so that way you can spend that time with the people that you care about, because life is just too short.
I love it. Well said. Timothy, this has been amazing. So for all of my listeners, definitely go to the episode description to get that additional information as it relates to our conversation today. As well, if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast. Love to have you subscribe, set those reminders so that you get notified each and every week when we release a new episode. Go back and listen to past episodes. You can binge list those. And there's a number of great ones out there. In fact, we've actually put together some highlight reels, some playlists that you can take advantage of that are on the website universalaccounting.com. In the navigation, you go to podcast and find those highlights there, where we've put together playlists based on various topics that we've covered with a number of experts as it relates to marketing, selling, offering services, tech stacks, mental health, and so on. So take advantage of those. Also, I want to invite you to GrowCon. GrowCon is an annual event that we do for owners of bookkeeping, accounting, and tax businesses. As owners, we invite you to come and basically hear from the stage those experts that have advice as to what we need to be doing in our companies to, in fact, have the premier accounting firm. The other that I'd like you to take advantage of is the peers, the opportunity to interact with your peers and learn from others that are doing exactly like you and really collaborate, find ways that you can help one another. And then lastly, it's the group here at Universal Accounting Center that's committed to your success. Get to meet us, interact with us, and most importantly, find out how you can be in business for yourself, but not by yourself with Universal Accounting Center. The last thing I'd like to point out is if you have any questions, anything that you'd like to discuss as it relates to this and other topics that we've had on the show, feel free to give us a phone call. You can reach us at 801-265-3777, or you can actually visit us online going to universalaccountingschool.com and there find out the various resources available to you to help you build the premier accounting firm in your area. And with all that being said, thank you and welcome for participating and listening in. And always remember this: if it's about accounting, it is universal. Take care and have a great day.